Hello, my name's Lindsay, this is Rod, Danielle and Bernard. You're watching The Right Note, and as Christmas hurtles towards us, or is just behind us depending on where you're watching this, we're going to open up yet another advent calendar, and inside it is the top 5 albums of 2016. So let's check it out.
So my number 5 album is from my favourite Knowles sister, Solange, with A Seat at the Table. I really liked this record. I think I'd been waiting for her to make this album for a while. It's a really good R&B soul record, and she gave me a taster of it with that track Losing You about 4 years ago, and I feel like she's really lived up to her beautiful potential in this album, and she's definitely, as I said, my favourite Knowles sister. Controversial, I know. At number 4, I'm choosing Irish singer James Vincent McMorrow with We Move. Make me feel alive in spite of rising water. I'm caught about a mile from nowhere. It's not just a, tribal nationality type of thing. I think this is the album where he's sort of really, really made what he's been trying to make the last few albums, which is this incredible sort of folk, hip-hop hybrid, bit of soul, funk and R&B in there, but he's finally sort of pulling it off with this one, and I think it's incredible, and I'm surprised it hasn't sort of made it into more top 10s this year. Number 3 is from Australia's Sting, Dee Dee Dumbo, with Utopia Defeated. I saw you went for, I don't see the sun no more, in a tunnel darkness. As I say, Australia's Sting, so he deserves a mention, obviously making far more interesting music than the aforementioned British artist. But what I loved about this is how indefinable it is genre-wise. He's just making really interesting music, and I'm not even going to try and say what genre he's found himself in. Number 2 will come as a surprise, but also maybe not a surprise. This is Olympia with Self-Talk. So the surprise is that she didn't make it to my number 1. The no surprise is that she's in there. I think for a conceptual artist, she's making incredible pop music and completely pulling it off in a way that doesn't seem pretentious, and just seems like a really positive and fun record, which I guess we don't have an awful lot of that fun and positivity in our lives at the moment, and damn it, we need it. Thank you, Olympia. She also creates incredible videos with really interesting visuals and beautiful costumes, and I just love her. But she didn't make it to my number 1. So my number 1 goes to a very special man, very close to my heart. No, it's not my husband, nor my father, nor is it my panelists. It is, of course, Leonard Cohen with You Want It Darker.
If you are the dealer, I'm out of the game. If you are the healer, means I'm broken and lame.
Now, the title might say darkness, but I don't feel any darkness when I listen to this record. I feel it is a positive record, it is an accepting record, and it is full of great tunes, and Leonard, I think, at his absolute best, and what a perfect one for him to go out on.
Isn't it scary how this sort of happens, where these artists who may, obviously had to confront their own mortality in a very possibly real way, more real than we'd know, just write an album that's kind of vaguely about it. It's like what David Bowie did. He knew
weird.
It's
How the
spooky.
2 of them did it this year, yeah. But I felt where Bowie's was sort of angsty and sad and almost hard to listen to at times. I felt this one was, you could just see that he had really made that peace within himself, and I think that's what made it such a great record.
Well, also he's been writing about dying for 20 years and been writing about death for 50 years, so he should be comfortable with it by now.
And this is probably his most positive writing of death, isn't it? Really, his most positive outlook on it.
That James Vincent McMorrow album was interesting, because I agree. I'm surprised that it kind of didn't sync Without a Trace, but it didn't seem to really
I think
carry on.
he was trying the same thing on the last album, Post Tropical, and I think people were surprised and delighted when they heard that one, and I think that a lot of people wrote this one off maybe as being just an extension of that, but actually it isn't. I think that it is really where he wanted to go with the last album.
He's got such a beautiful voice, and that sort of beautiful high voice that he can do. It's good that he hasn't just gone, I can just sing like that, just ballad it up, all the way to the bank.
Just me and a synth, and
Yeah.
there you go.
There you go.
I think some people I know find his voice difficult to take because of his register, so that maybe that goes against him a little bit. But I think even if you take his voice out of it, what he's doing musically is really good.
And so Solange is your favourite of all the Knoll sisters.
Who's yours?
Shannon.
Obviously.
We definitely set that joke up hours ago.